Hello Internet, it's Ginger from Variant Rules bringing you another edition of Pathfinder Prototypes. This episode, Tony Stark. This build will be focused around capturing the essence of the MCU version of Iron Man portrayed by Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark ends up creating the first Iron Man suit when he is critically injured on a business trip to Afghanistan. His life is saved by Ho Jensen, a doctor who implants an electromagnet into his chest to keep unretrievable shrapnel from piercing his heart. Stark and Henson end up working together to create a suit of power armor in order to escape from the terrorist camp in which they were imprisoned. Tony escapes and begins creating and modifying more suits to help him in his newfound mission to foment peace around the world. For this build, we will be a human with the Inventor class. The obvious choice, I know, but some of the decisions down the line may surprise you, so stay tuned. For our background, we will select a rare background called Saved by Clockwork. Our version of Tony will have a clockwork mechanism embedded in his chest to keep him alive. With this background, we need to perform 10 minutes of maintenance on our clockwork mechanism or we may die. Be sure to work with your GM on determining the consequences should you be prevented from performing your daily maintenance. Thankfully, there's an upside to the risk. We are granted a +2 circumstance bonus to all initiative rolls. Not bad. Our initial ability scores are 16 Strength, 12 Dexterity, 10 Constitution, 18 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, and 12 Charisma. I would like for the Charisma score to be higher, but we need the maximum amount of intelligence possible to reflect our super genius status, and the 16th Strength is required to wear our power armor, with no penalties to saves and movement. Of course, we will become better at everything as we move through the levels. For skills, we are granted crafting for free from both our Inventor class and our background, so we get to pick an alternate skill, and due to Inventor's Overdrive feature, our crafting skill automatically progresses to Legendary as we level, freeing us up for skill investment in other areas. For this build, skills to focus on are Acrobatics and Athletics to get the most out of our armor, as well as Charisma-based skills since we will eventually become a leader of the Avengers. In our example build, we finish out the build at Legendary in Acrobatics, Arcana, and Crafting, Master in Athletics, and Expert in Diplomacy. We will take the Skilled Heritage for another trained skill, Haughty Obstinacy from our Ancestry for better defense against mental effects. The Explosive Leap class feat lets us fire our integrated rocket jets to leap 30 feet with no skill check, and obviously we take the Armor Innovation, letting us choose a special set of power armor unique to the Inventor class. Our level 1 class features are Explode, which lets us do fire damage in a 5-foot emanation, Overdrive, which lets us do more damage on a successful crafting check, and Peerless Inventor, which grants us the Inventor skill feat for free, allowing us to create formulas ourselves without needing to find them or purchase them. At level 2, we take Collapse Armor, allowing us to equip and remove our armor with a single action and carry it much more easily due to it being treated as one bulk lighter when collapsed. We don't always want to be walking around town in a suit of power armor. Specialty crafting as a skill feat allows us to choose a specific type of crafting to excel in, and personally for this build I would choose blacksmithing. At level 3, we get a skill increase. I recommend Athletics. We will take the Toughness General feat for extra health. Expert Overdrive increases our crafting skill to Expert and gives us more overdrive damage. Reconfigure lets us use a day of downtime to attempt to swap out one innovation modification for another. At level 4, we'll take the Megaton Strike class feat for the Inventor version of a power attack, as well as Crafter's Appraisal skill feat, which lets us use our best skill to identify any magic item rather than needing to be trained in other recall knowledge skills. At level 5, we will boost our Strength, Constitution, Intelligence, and Charisma scores, and we get another skill increase. We choose Acrobatics here since we will be able to fly at later levels, and Acrobatics will be very useful for this. We take the Clever Improviser Ancestry feat to be decent at everything and allow us to take trained actions even in skills we are untrained. Stark's a genius after all, and he knows at least a little about almost everything. Additionally, our skill with weapons and unarmed strikes increases to Expert. Level 6 is a fun one. We take the Megavolt class feat, which lets us fire a beam of electricity in a 20-foot line, or we can make it unstable to triple the range and massively increase the damage, for those emergency situations where you really need something to die. We will also take the Catfall feat here to reduce and eventually completely negate falling damage. Superhero landings can be bad on the knees, good thing we have power armor. At 7th level, we increase our acrobatics skill to Master, and we take the Arcane Sense skill feat in place of our general feat in order to upgrade our scanners. This feat lets us cast Detect Magic at will as an innate cantrip. The cantrip is upranked based on our Arcana skill, which is why we are going through the trouble of increasing it to Legendary. Information is power in the right hands. Additionally, we gain another modification for our innovation. Our reflex saves increase to Expert, our crafting skill increases to Master, we get even more damage on our overdrive, and we gain weapon specialization, granting us additional flat damage to our strikes. Whew, that was a mouthful. At level 8, we upgrade our Megaton Strike to Gigaton Strike, allowing us to force our target to make a Fortitude save against being pushed back up to 20 feet, depending on its degree of success. We will also take Kip Up for our skill feat, so we can get up from prone as a free action without provoking attacks of opportunity. This skill feat is basically a must-have on anyone who can take it. It's almost too good. Level 9 nets us another skill increase, this one in Diplomacy, but feel free to pick up Arcana here as well. The Incredible Improvisation Ancestry feat lets us gain a +4 circumstance bonus to one untrained skill check per day. This may not be useful often, since we will only be untrained in 4 skills, but it's always good to have in your back pocket. We will take the Jolt offensive boost here to give us an extra d6 electric damage on our unarmed strikes, or strikes with a designated weapon. Additionally, our Inventor class DC increases to Expert. At level 10, we will boost our Strength, Constitution, Intelligence, and Charisma again, granting us another skill proficiency. It's a little late, but we will also take the Martial Artist dedication here to bump our damage die for unarmed attacks to d6s and lose the -2 penalty for making lethal unarmed strikes. The Impeccable Crafter skill feat lets us treat successful crafting checks to craft an item as a critical success, saving us a great deal of time and money when it comes to crafting items of our chosen specialty for our party. Level 11 grants another skill increase. I recommend Arcana here. Additionally, we'll pick up the Prescient Planner General feat, quite possibly one of the strongest feats in the game. We can just retroactively purchase any one adventuring gear item half our level or below. Basically, once per shopping trip, you can just pull out one thing you didn't know you needed from your backpack as if by magic. Additionally, at this level, our proficiency with medium armor and below increases to Expert, and our will saves increase to Master. At 12th level, we upgrade our Megavolt ability to Gigavolt, allowing us to bounce our electric beam off of solid obstacles at whatever angle we choose, potentially hitting enemies around corners or beyond our sight. Very cool. Captain America's shield counts as a solid object, right? We also take the Magical Crafting skill feat, allowing us to craft magical items. Level 13 grants another skill increase, and for our Ancestry feat, we will pick up Advanced General Training, allowing us to grab Prescient Consumable, which allows us to also grab consumable items using our Prescient Planner feat, not just adventuring gear. Alertness grants us expert proficiency in Perception. Complete Reconfiguration allows us to change any number of things about our innovation in a single day with one crafting check, and our weapon and unarmed strikes increase to Master. At 14th level, we are finally able to modify our armor to let us fly, granting us a flying speed equal to our land speed, and Aerobic's Mastery skill feat lets us make advanced maneuvers in flight much more easily. A very fun level, but not much more to say. At level 15, we boost our Strength, Intelligence, of course, Wisdom, and Charisma. We boost our Acrobatics proficiency to Legendary, letting us negate all falling damage due to Catfall, and granting us unparalleled maneuverability in flight. We also take the Fleet General feat, increasing our speeds by 5 feet. Greater Weapon Specialization grants us even more flat damage on our attacks. We gain Legendary proficiency in crafting as well as more damage from our overdrive, and we gain our final innovation modification. Level 16 gets us Persistent Boost, causing all of our attacks that apply our offensive boost damage to also cause our enemies to take 1d8 persistent damage of the type of our boost. More damage is always nice, no matter what form it takes, not to mention that you only need a successful hit rather than a critical hit like most forms of persistent damage require. This feat is overall quite good. We also take the Craft Anything skill feat since we are legendary in crafting, allowing us to quite literally craft anything. Plus, we also get to ignore a lot of tedious requirements such as Ancestry and even spells that don't have an associated monetary cost. 17th level grants us another skill increase, and we take Heroic Presence for our Ancestry feat. At this point, we are a leader of the Avengers, and we should be able to inspire our allies to perform more heroic deeds. We also get a boost to our class DC, as well as the Juggernaut feat, making any successful fort saves a critical success. Very useful. At level 18, we take the Negate Damage class feat, granting us a reaction to negate a flat amount of damage. 15 normally, but we can risk the unstable action to negate a full 50 damage from one attack. Assured Identification allows us to treat critical failures when attempting to identify an item as a normal failure, and successes on cursed items don't cause us to misidentify the item. Instead, we just don't know. 19th level is another skill increase, and we will take the Incredible Investiture General feat here to allow us to tune to 2 additional magic items. Infinite Invention lets us change our modifications and offensive boost as part of our daily preparations rather than taking an entire day, and we gain the Master Proficiency in our armor. At 20th level, we get ability boosts in Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, and Wisdom. We get another trained skill from our Intelligence score, and we will take the Full Automation class feat, giving us a permanent quickened action that allows us to stride, step, or fly. Additionally, we will take the Unified Theory skill feat, allowing us to use our Legendary Arcana on any skill action or skill feat that requires one of the other Recall Knowledge skills. We also negate any penalties that would normally take effect for using the incorrect skill. This one skill feat can be extremely frustrating for a lot of GMs, so use at your own risk. My final notes for this build are that as with most builds in PF2E, a lot of feat choices are modular and completely preference-based. These selections are my interpretation of a Tony Stark build, but there are plenty of other options you can choose to spice things up. I specifically refrained from giving my innovation modification selections during the build because these are almost completely arbitrary selections on my part, and you can change these out almost at will to create a different kind of armor depending on your preferences or needs. If your group uses free archetype rules, I recommend taking a few more feats in Martial Artists to expand your hand-to-hand combat options, and definitely consider taking the Summoner multiclass archetype so you can get a Construct Eidolon, allowing you to have another armor on the field on autopilot. You could also take the Meld into Eidolon class feat for Summoner to let you use your other armor as a combat option should the need arise. For dual class, I recommend going an Inventor Summoner dual class. For the purposes of this build, you don't have to invest into Charisma very much, since you will mostly be taking evolution feats to change the way your Construct Eidolon functions in combat. Should you desire it, you could even take the evolution feats to make your Eidolon huge sized and have a Hulkbuster armor running around the battlefield on autopilot, and you can even meld into Eidolon in order to pilot it yourself. Thanks for watching. If you found the video enjoyable or informative, and you'd like to see more of this style of content from us here at Variant Rules, please drop us a like and subscribe. If there's a build idea you'd like to see, feel free to leave a comment with your suggestion. Links to this build on Pathbuilder 2E will be in the description. See you next Saturday.